Hey y'all, this is Dari, aka Dari, and welcome to Dari's Diary. So, little confession, this is my first ever YouTube video, like real video. So, take it easy on me. And hopefully we can get a lot out. We can discuss. I decided that, I deal with so much, so why not put it in my diary? And you guys are my diary. So I love the fact that my diary can talk back to me. So at any point, if there's anything that you can relate to, please feel free to share it in the comments and let's chat. All right, let's get started. Disappointment. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only person who's ever been disappointed, whoever has wanted something and then ended up not getting it. I know I'm not the only one. And if I am, you lying. So, a little bit, like a little backstory. So I recently quit my job. I know that's what I was supposed to do. No, God told me to do it. And I was all up for it at first. Didn't really know what I want to do. Still don't know. Finding what my purpose is, finding what I'm supposed to do. Trying to, really get to what that looks like. So I've just been trying to be faithful and walk with God through this process. But I quit my job, y'all, at the beginning of February. And it's almost March. So it's like, okay, 1 week. Okay, cool. 1 week. All right, it's 2 weeks. Okay, 3 weeks. Wait a minute now. Almost 4 whole weeks. And it's like, I've been putting in applications, but at the same time, I've been praying and I've been asking God, open the door that you want to open. Send me where you want me to go. That's where I want to go. I don't want to go anywhere that's not in your will. And one of my favorite scriptures is Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge him. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm trying to acknowledge you. I want to do what you want me to do. And I know he told me to quit. And I believe he's been telling me to wait. But man, let me tell you about your girl. Anytime I put in for a job, no lie, no cap, literally, no cap on right here. Anytime I apply for a job, if I get called in for an interview, the job is mine, right? So I've had a couple jobs, had 2 interviews. I have not heard from them, which is fine because I really didn't want those jobs anyway. Because they're in a field that I no longer want to be in, accounting. Don't like it, don't enjoy it, but I'm like, I got the degree, so I need to do something, right? But when I tell y'all, I have not been able to get another interview. And it's like, okay, God, this is beginning to be a little disheartening because I've never had this issue. But at the same time, I'm asking God to open doors and to do things that I've never asked him to do before. So part of me is like, okay, God, is this you? Or the other part of me is like, is something wrong with me? Like, am I not a worthy candidate anymore? So all these lies and all this crazy stuff is starting to creep in. And I began to feel disappointed. And if you have any ways that you've dealt with disappointment, share it in the comments. Let me know how you've handled it before. But when I tell you, your girl was going through it this morning. I was like, what is this? And I was just genuinely disappointed in myself, disappointed in God, disappointed in the process. And of course, I don't know if any of you are Christians or if you're not, but of course, growing up as a Christian, sometimes it's kind of taboo for people to admit that they are disappointed in God or to admit that they've been hurt. But in reality, God can't do anything with what you're not willing to admit. So if you're disappointed and you're walking around upset and hurt, but you're not willing to say, God, my hurt and anger is at you, what can he do? How can he show you something better? So I had to get real with God this morning and just really, I cried some and I let him know, like, what is this? What's going on? And what came to me is to continue to trust him. Because if I believe that he has my best interest at heart and no door can close that he doesn't want to close. If I feel like that's foundation, that's truth, then why am I tripping if a door closed? Because the only way that it was allowed to close is if he wanted it to close. So for me, I realized that, okay, God, I'm still right in the middle of your will on where you want me to be. And so the other part of this battle is because I've been applying for jobs, but at the same time, I don't want to take control because I am a control person. I can have a plan A, B, C, and D. And I can have all the way to Z if I need to, because I solve the problems. Let's get it in. Let's get it done. If this doesn't work, okay, let's create something else. I'm pretty sure some of y'all can relate. But I'm trying not to do that because I'm like, okay, God, I'm trying to trust you. I want to see you do something that you haven't done in my life before. So I'm giving you the will. But that is the hardest thing to do when you can think of a million ways that you can try to make something work. But it's like, and then lies start coming into your mind about, well, you're not being a good steward of time. You're not being wise. And of course, I have some older women around me who they work. My mom, love you, mom. But in reality, they've always worked their whole lives, and, they know how to go make things happen, which is where I learned that from. And, right now they're not fully on her, and, a couple of other women that I know, I keep saying they, but her and a couple of other women that I know are not fully on board with the choices that I'm making because they feel like I should just get a job just to have income. But I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, God, I really want my faith to show up, and I really want to stand on what I know to be true and stand on what I think you're saying. So this could roll into a whole nother confession, but I'm gonna leave this there and stay on the course and not try to deter. But it's like, yes, I could settle and I could go do something and I could go make something happen that I want to happen. But I told myself that I wasn't going to do that. I told myself that I was going to trust God and give him glory for whatever came. But then the question was like, well, am I not being wise? Am I ignoring wisdom in this moment? And is God sending the things that I need and I'm just ignoring it because I want it to look a certain way? And so I was offered a job. There was a lesser job, and it was a job that I don't necessarily want. It's a great place to work, but it's in a position that I don't really want. So, it could be thought that I would be settling, but people in this type of position, they're not settling. It's not what I want. But I thank God. It's so funny because I've been praying about it, and I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to apply for this position? Do you want me to take it? And I was like, I'm going to do it. If it's not your will, the door will close. So I got online to look for the job. I can't even apply for it because the application is not there. Like, there's nowhere for me to put the application. So I reached out to the manager, and she told me that, to keep looking. They should post it. So I'm like, okay, God, I take it as you want me to be still. So that's where I'm at, guys. Yeah, that is where I'm at. So I know that was a lot to just put out here. So things that I want to talk about: how do y'all deal with disappointment? What do you do when you're disappointed? Yeah, because I know I'm not the only one who's felt disappointment, right? But at this point, I'm just going to continue to trust God and see what doors open. So pray for your girl. And yeah, so here's my first diary insert.